Hey guys, Harry here. As part of our year-end promotional campaign, we are exchanging advertisement slots with other podcasts. Check it out and enjoy the show.
Do you suffer from constant and severe thumb aches? Does the light of day irritate your sensitive eyes and skin? Would you rather go on a raid than a date? Well, I can't help you with any of those things, but what I can do is recommend a podcast for you. Check out VGRX, the Video Game Pharmacy. It's your weekly dose of video game news, knowledge, know-how, and trivia. Join Dan, Britton, Zach, and myself, Scott, every Friday as we discuss video games, industry headlines and trends, and the occasional serious conversation. We are not actual pharmacists, and you can find us by searching Video Game Pharmacy on iTunes or your podcast service of choice.
Welcome to the super fun game review podcast. Go Mega Ultra Between Review Show. Down. MUBRS. Ralph's pooping.
Cool. Shitting his brains out.
Shitting his brains out, as you said. All right, so I guess tonight it's just going to be Harry and I. Ralph might be joining us in a little bit once he's done with the poops. He's currently playing Switch on the toilet. So yeah, what's been going on with you, Harry? You said you had a story to share.
Yeah, I wanted to share this story because I thought it was super funny and just living it in the moment.
Super funny.
Super fun. Yeah. Yeah. It's just like one of those experiences that you probably couldn't replicate twice in one life. So I wanted to share it just so I have it out there for everybody to enjoy. And I'm going to try to explain it in as vivid detail as possible so you feel like you're there with me in that moment.
All right. So you woke up and masturbated. Then what?
Yeah. So just a normal shitty day at work. The place where all shit. It's just a normal shitty day at work. I walk by the coat room, and one of the other managers that I was walking with was like, "Do you smell that?" And I'm like, reeks of marijuana. And it's not the first time we've had to deal with situations like this. A lot of times you'll walk into the locker room and boom, it just hits you in the face right away. So we get security to look into it. I don't think anything else of it. I'm just like, oh shit, marijuana, somebody smoked before work, yada yada. I'm not going to go around and fucking look in everybody's eyes.
You're not going to be Dwight, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So a few hours pass. I'm just doing the normal thing, setting up my normal routines for closing shift at the store, checking everybody in, seeing who we have to close in each department around the store. I'm going to be very generic when it comes to store terms because I don't want to reveal the location where I work at. But as you've already deducted, it's a retail department store at this point.
Honestly, I think if you listen through the episodes, you can pretty much figure out where you work.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever revealed where I currently work.
You've revealed the mall in which you work, though.
Have I?
Yes.
Anyway,
at
so anyway, security comes and grabs me, and they're like, "We found the owner of the bag," and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So they take me into the CCTV room and they show me the footage, and the security officer is explaining. So we found where the smell was coming from. No, it was a JanSport-like black bag hung in the coat room of the store, which anybody that works at the store has full access to. And I say this because we also have a locker room where everybody has individual lockers they can lock their stuff away. This was in a common
area.
A common area only used by employees. It's not for like the customers or anything like that. But I'm saying hundreds of employees have access to this little room, completely open, bag full stench of marijuana coming from. So they show me the CCTV footage of a young girl came into work, dropped off her bag, made sure it was zipped up, touched the bag a couple times, and then walked away. Now, it was kind of hard to make out the employee at first because the light is broken in the coat room. So it's like a dark room, but you can still see the figure come in. So basing off of her haircut, we deduced it was one of several employees in the store. So then we just started trying to match up the face. Like, it's not high definition cameras. They're like standard def, which makes no sense because the security...
It's probably a small amount of money comparative to a
yeah,
department store
absolutely.
brings
They cut corners on it though. Realistically speaking, like a lot of times it could have helped having that high definition.
I don't know any places that cut corners on technology at all. I don't know anything about that.
So I go to the HR manager,
mm-hmm.
and I'm like, "Listen, here's what security came back to me with. Here's the information." And he's like, "All right, let's go check out the bag, and then we'll figure it out from there." So we go look inside the bag because it's property that's on, or it's the company property. Like, they don't have individual rights when it comes to personal belongings
right.
to that level within the building. We look in the bag. There's about, what was it, like 250 or 300 vials of marijuana, like all glass containers that each contained approximately, if you're familiar with marijuana terms, about 1/8 of weed.
Jesus.
Yeah.
200? That's pounds.
Yeah. I mean, this thing was jam-packed. I'm talking jam-packed.
Christ.
Like, if you think about a standard JanSport bag.
I mean, I don't smoke anymore, but that's like a fucking find. Like, that's fucking ridiculous.
Absolutely. So, in the past, we don't call the police or anything like that. We just like, hey, like, we found some marijuana. You brought it on the property. We have to, unfortunately, let you go, but we're not going to call the authorities. This was a huge amount that we thought we might be liable if we didn't take another step at this point.
Well, yeah, because like at that point, it's very obviously like no one's like, oh, I'm set for the next year. Let me just put 1/8 in 300 vials. I'm gonna carry around with me.
So they were like, Harry, we need you to go get that staff member, bring him to the back room. So I did. We finally identified who it was.
Mm-hmm.
Brought that employee back, sat her down, and was like, listen, just tell us the truth, what's going on here, and then we'll talk to corporate HR and we'll see what we can do about this whole situation. Just like playing good guy on this one. So he was even like, now be completely honest on this form. Just tell us all the details that you know, so that like this is your one chance at redemption before we have to go do anything.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, I didn't know. I had it in my bag when I left today. It's my brother's bag. I usually bring a green bag. And
she brought a green bag. A bag full of green.
So we did have to call authorities. These were 2 lady officers. I kid you not, like, they could tie one arm. Either of the 2 officers, if you tied one arm behind their back, they would still whoop my fucking ass. These were like the beefiest women I have.
Jesus Christ.
These women,
they were fit.
No, they were fucking huge. Fit and huge. I'm just saying. They're like
jacked. They
were fucking tanks.
Jesus Christ. Harry. Okay, yeah. How are you going to get married before me? I don't get it. All right, just go. Just go.
So they come in and they start talking to the girl, and they're like super nice at first. But they're like, oh, so tell us, like, what's going on here? And the girl was like, I was making eye contact with everybody in the room. Like, I had to stand in the room, and I was just like, oh, shit's going down. And I was just like, I wanted to observe as much of this as possible.
Yeah.
Just like,
because of course
like, I'm in the fucking moment. Like, I don't know. I do it for the story, man. Always do it for the story.
Yeah.
And I was just watching her eyes just start around like, shit, I'm fucked. And the cop is like, so tell us, like, is this your bag? And she's like, no, it's my brother's. I didn't know it was in there. And the cop was just like, cut the shit.
Oh, man.
And I was like, oh, like this got intense real quick. I did the whole like the guy standing in the corner just like twiddling his thumbs, like, up, nothing's going on here.
You slowly walk back into a shadow in the corner of the room, feverishly masturbating. I'm waiting for the part where you tell me that they like pick the girl up and do wrestling moves and bring her through the table. This girl looked like Triple H, and the other one looked like the fucking Macho Man. They did a Dudley Boy 3D through the table.
So they arrested her on the spot, took her out to the paddy wagon.
Jesus
Just
Christ.
kidding. Took her out to the police car. And then I was just giving them like the paperwork on our end, like, and here's her disc with the burned images from the CCTV room. So you have like all the evidence, like, boom, you have everything on our end. They're like, cool. So you're the acting manager on this. We're going to need you to come to the station and file a formal report. And I was like, sure.
Okay.
So I went and told the store manager. I was like, listen, I'm going to be out of the store for a bit. I got to go to the police station. So I basically just follow the police cars over, park at the station. Now, just to explain in full detail again, I get to the police station, right?
Uh-huh.
So they're like, just pull around the front, park. We're inside, and it's a little area off to the left, fully glass case. I forget what they called it. I forget. Yeah,
Was
they
it
had
like processing.
essentially like
Okay.
that's where they had their dispatch as well.
Okay.
Just like right through the glass, 2 officers working dispatch as well, and they kind of work the counter and direct people. So I get there, and I pull into the parking lot, handicapped, 15-minute parking, and officers only. There's like 3 different sections, and I was like, I don't think I qualify for any one of these 3. So I just start driving around the building looking for a place to park. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I finally park down the hill all the way in the back, walk up, and I walk in. Finally find the thing. All these places were shutting down. It's like a government building. Like there's more than
like
one.
a township building.
Yeah, essentially. There was all these different offices in there.
Tax offices are there and shit like that.
Yeah, and like permit building, like a permit office and everything. So finally get, and I talk to the dispatcher and I say, oh, officer such and such, or detective rather, such and such is going to be out to get you in a couple minutes. So I'm sitting there. This is when I'm like letting my friends know, boom, this is what happened. I remember I was messaging you guys in the Discord, and you guys had a fucking field day with it.
Yep. We were talking about just a real quick thing. My biggest thing on this was Harry says, oh, it was like 250 to 300. It might have been 300, but he only reported with 250. Did you turn in all the drugs, Harry?
Yeah. Turned in all the drugs. Yeah. Send the dispatch. Like I was waiting there for like 45 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "What the fuck is taking so long?"
Good
I
thing
thought
you didn't park in the 15-minute spot.
exactly.
I know. Got the ticket.
I was thinking
for being an upright citizen.
So the dispatcher finally comes over. He's like, "Wow, I'm sorry this is taking so long. Like, it wasn't supposed to be like this. Do you want me to go down and let him know, like, you've been waiting here for a while?" I was like, no. Like, I'm supposed to be at work right now. I'm totally getting paid for being here. You take your merry old time." And the dispatcher thought it was the funniest fucking thing ever. And he was like, sure, I'm not going to mention a single thing to him. So I just sat there for like another 45 minutes just in the waiting room.
Jeez. Hopefully your phone was charged.
Yeah. No, it was fine. I
All
was
right,
just
there you go.
Googling, watching videos, all that kind of shit. Better than fucking being at work.
Yeah.
I'll spend a whole day at the police station if it means I don't have to go in and do another day of work.
Yeah, that'll be a fun Facebook post. Yeah, Harry stabbed someone. He said he didn't want to work anymore. He said he wanted to go to the police station.
So the detective comes and finally gets me. Pretty intimidating, dude. Like,
Yeah.
kind of what you'd expect from like crime shows or like a movie or something like that.
Well,
like
at this point, you're probably talking to like their narcotics detective.
one of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's he was explaining some of the cases they were working on. He says like normally we don't do this much of a thing for marijuana because heroin is such an issue right now.
Right.
Like he was just like, but
200 to 300 fucking vials is
Yeah.
200 to 300 fucking vials.
yeah.
Even if it was like 5, they probably would have been like, here's your fine. Bye.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, that's very obviously I am a dealer. I am dealing illicit drugs.
Yeah. Probably to the staff members there. Maybe why they kept it in the coat room. So hey, just go help yourself kind of thing on your break.
Yeah. Give me some money and
So anyway, so we're doing the reporting, and he's like, now some of these answers are going to be extremely absurd, but I have to read them to you legally. So he's like, number 1, do you know you are not under arrest? And I was like, yep. And
What?
he literally had to record my answers word for word on all of these answers. So he's just going through these, and he's like, just walking me through like general what happened. When did you decide that we need to get the police involved? Like all these questions just going down the sheet. And one of the questions was, so how did you know, or when did you find the marijuana? And I was explaining my answer, and I said, well, we asked her because we have such, because there's such a presence of odors, would you mind removing all the items from the bag? This is when myself and the human resources manager were talking to this girl. And and then I was like, and I'm thinking in my head, yeah. So he moves on to the next question, everything like that. So then he's like, okay, he prints out all the questions and answers that I did. And he's like, one final time, I want you to read over every page, initial every page that looks 100% that it's your words. We don't want to misrepresent or misconstrue or anything like that.
Right.
Like, so it was being very thorough, and I was reading down the page, and I got to that question, when did you find the question I was going over with you. And I was reading through the answer, and it was like, made her reveal all contents of the bag, and that's when we found all the marijuana. Yeah! He left in the when I was like thinking in my head, and then I was like, detective, check this out. And I started laughing, talking to the detective, and he's like, what's wrong with the paperwork? And I was like, look at the way you wrote this. It makes me sound so excited that I found the marijuana. I was like reading it out loud to the detective.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then we found the marijuana in her bag. Yeah. And he thought it was fucking hilarious. And he's like, well, the good thing is that you can omit any of this. Just cross out that and we'll retype up the documents. And I was like, no. I'm leaving that in there because this is an official government document now that will forever be on record with me cheering that I found marijuana.
That's pretty fantastic.
So if you look up the court documents, boom, there it is.
Have you done that? Have you looked?
I haven't looked it up yet.
Okay.
I don't know if they've gone to the case yet, but we should look it up and just like.
Yeah. Well, if you know her like name and birth date.
Oh, should I read that aloud? And
Yeah.
I have her
What is
social
it?
security
Go ahead.
number here
All right.
too.
Go ahead.
Um,
Dude, I gotta say, I'm just glad I didn't show up for my weed that day. No.
Oh man, but I don't know. It's just such a crazy, unique, like once in a lifetime story. Just like,
Yeah, that's fucking nuts.
it's hilarious. Like,
Oh man.
that made my day. Plus, I didn't get back to work until like fucking like 2 hours before we had to close down the store. Like, it's fantastic.
Perfect, man.
Oh,
So honestly, there's not a whole lot going on with me right now. My son just turned 4.
ooh.
That was like super fucking exciting. I got him a bunch of Legos. He's like really into Legos right now.
Mega Blocks, man, all the way.
Nah, dude.
I'm kidding.
Legos. Come on. Come on. But yeah, I mean, honestly, with that story, like, what else could you actually want from a MUBRS? So I think I'm just gonna cut it there, and yeah. We will see you guys next week.
Later.
Later.
In Steve's absence, love you.
Love you.
It's so stupid.